I'm day 9. And ordinarily I'd hop into this game, but I'm having fun telling doctor stories. Honestly, I will note that I just get totally freaked out by not that significant stuff. Like, for instance, like if I'm at an event, if I'm putting the event on, and someone comes up to me and says, Sean, the CEO, the president of the company that sponsors this event is that man there in the front row, and he's looking to this event to decide if his company is going to go into gaming or not. You have to do the best job of your life, otherwise you will completely cut off funding for this event for all time. Now go cast and be happy. Under that sort of pressure, I function great. I'm fine with it. I'm always like, you got it, I can handle this, and I go into hyper mode, and I'm like, and I can do it, right? But if my rib is a little achy and I don't know why, just freaks the shit out of me, man. I can't even handle it. Like, if I have mail and it's like from the IRS, I'm like, oh, let me just put this in this pile and go to Germany and then forget about it so I don't have to open it up. I actually opened up a letter from the IRS that I had from March today. From March. That's how long it took me to get it. July, or August is the month we're in right now. And it just said, we received your taxes. Freaks me right the hell. I can't handle it, right? Even the going to the ophthalmologist, just I'm always like scared because my vision is bad, like really bad. To the point where when I was young and I had to go to the optometrist, it bothered me so much that when he would leave the room, I would turn around and memorize the letters on the wall because I didn't want to be wrong. Because it was always so scary every year. And Sean, what does that say? Huh. Wow. Your vision is declining, Sean. It's getting quite a bit worse. The day I tried to memorize the back, I had like a +3 in this eye and a -9 in this eye. It made no sense. Like I puked because the vision was so messed up, and I walked in little circles. I didn't care. I was done with the whole process. But I don't know if any of you, I think I mentioned this. I had not LASIK, PRK. It's basically LASIK in this eye, right? Recently, like that's why I was gone last week. Is like every medical procedure you could ever imagine. I traveled too much, packed them all into 1 week, got PRK done on this eye, and there's always, I cling on to anything that will freak you out. That's why I make the WebMD jokes. I go to WebMD anytime I'm feeling a little achy, and I'm like, what's wrong with my body? It freaks me out. So when I'm there, they're saying things like, oh, you could do LASIK or PRK, but you know, the military does PRK, so it's really reliable. They like that a lot. And I'm like, really? Why don't they use LASIK? And they say, well, with LASIK, you know, they cut a flap in the cornea and peel it open, and then they shoot the laser in there and close the flap. But sometimes, you know, if you're a military person, you get struck in the head, it can just rip the flap clear off your cornea. And I'm like, okay, does anything like that happen with PRK? Found out all sorts of interesting things about my eyes. I am -11 in this eye and -10.5 in this. I'm super blind. And the entire procedure is crazy to get all the medical stuff done. They bring you in for an evaluation. They're very calming and nurturing. You're doing great, buddy. And the ophthalmologist even was saying a reassuring thing. You know what? When they have like the lens and they flip it, they're like 1 or 2, 1 or 2, and they like flip it. He would always go, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. You know, like there's no way to be wrong. It was great. It was like 1 or 2, pretty close. Pretty close. 1, okay, okay. This won't be very close. 1 or 3, yeah, 1's a lot clearer, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. So I'm like, okay, cool. So they go through this whole thing, and they bring me in for like multiple evaluations. They dilate my eyes, they go poof, and like puff air on it and scares me and stuff. And then they sit me down and talk me through all the stuff, and they give me my eye drops, and they send me in for the surgery. And the surgery itself will take 6 minutes. It's actually a 6-minute long surgery, but they need to keep you still. So they gave me Valium. I get there at 8 a.m. and they say, well, here, let's go ahead and have you chew some Valium. So I put that in and I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm going to need some Valium. So I take the Valium and I wash it down. I'm talking. I'm not feeling anything. You know, I'm a large guy. I'm 6'3" and I'm 220 pounds. A number I'm not proud of. But there's a lot of Sean. I don't fit on airplanes. My knees get cramped in cars. And when anyone says, oh, this medicine's going to hit you hard, it doesn't hit me that hard because there's so much of me. I displace a lot of water. So they gave me a Valium, and she's like, well, you're a big guy, you might have to take 2. And I'm like, you might have to give me a second Valium. So give me the Valium, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just talking, and they're waiting until 8:40 when the procedure is going to begin. And I'm talking, and I'm talking. Wonderful eye clinic. They actually send someone out there just to talk to you, just to chat with you and make sure that you're feeling relaxed. Talking about cooking dinner, and I'm really excited about this chicken parmesan I'm going to make tonight. Wonderful experience. And I'm sitting there, and I'm talking, I'm being all charming. I'm like, doop-a-doop-a-doo. And she's like, oh, titter, Sean, you're so funny. And I'm like, I might be. And then the Valium hits, and it hits. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I go, it is this surreal feeling, and I'm just like, oh, and I became poignantly aware of my face, and I was like, oh, and then I found my eyebrows, and I just start petting my eyebrows, and I turned to my mom who was there, because again, all medical things freak me out, so I brought my mom. I was like, Mom, my eyebrows are so soft. Touch my eyebrows. And she's like, Sean, shut up. We're in a clinic. Stop it. And I'm like, no, seriously, they're so soft. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like doing this, and I'm like, my eyes are open, like when Neo came out of the pink muck and realized the Matrix was all a sham. That's the expression. I was like, oh my God. Oh, look at all the equipment they have in this room. This is amazing. So they eventually take me into this thing, and she's like holding my hand, and of course I'm a guy, so I was like, you don't need to hold my hand, I can walk in there. And then I took a step, and then I was like, give me your hand. Give me your hand. I held her hand, she walked me in. And then the procedure happened like it was at the pace that people change tires in NASCAR. They just like threw me down. Your eye's good, right? That's how it was. And they like put you down and they strap you in. And I'm so anxious that even on the Valium, my heart is starting to race. Boom, 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 boom. Like, because they like tape your eye open and like put these little fingers in to like hold it open, and then he just starts like painting my eye, and he's like doing these things. He's working really fast, and I'm just like, and he's like, look at the laser, look straight at the laser, look at the laser, Sean, look at the laser. And I'm like, what if I don't look at the laser? I'm considering the corner cases, so that way my imagination can run wild with the permanent damage I may have done to my eye. And then pulls me right on out. 6 minutes, that's all it took. Walk me out. I go to sleep for like 6 hours. It was amazing. And then I could see out of this eye. It was really weird, but they put on this protective lens because it needs to heal. So it's a little blurry in this eye right now. And I was doing good. I got back home on Friday, and I'm feeling good. I went out and got some dinner, had some ramen, which I should get some ramen tonight. I love ramen. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden my eye starts to hurt. And it's really hurting. It's actually starting to kill. And then by like 10, 11 p.m., my eye hurts. It's the tears streaming down my eye, like constantly. And I'm like, I'm taking all the meds. I'm wearing the protective bionic eye guard they have. And I'm just like, oh, it hurts. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll just go to bed. like an idiot, not worry about it, and I get up the next morning and it still hurts and I'm scared. So I call the doctor on a Saturday morning. This is before I did the TSL cast with DJ Wheat. I call him and I say, I'm a little worried. Let me tell you what happened. And I go on this elaborate story about maybe I wasn't drinking enough water and my eyes are dry and I took the meds at this time and maybe someone lightly bumped it and I think it's bad. The lens is there. I looked and I have a photo of my eye if you want. But it hurts. What should I do? And he actually says, well, it should hurt, Sean. We cut your eye open with a laser. And I was like, well, I've had eye pain before, but this is quite bad. It's quite dry and it hurts and I'm upset and I'm worried about it. And he goes, well, Sean, we cut it with a laser. So you're actually having a large hole in your eye that has to heal, so it should hurt. It'll be sensitive. And I'm like, oh. So I'm fine, right? And he's like, yeah, it'll be, just keep putting in the moisturizing drops. It'll heal. And I'm like, oh, you cut it with a laser. And he's like, yeah, a laser. I'll see you on Wednesday. And he's just like, hung up. And I was like, oh, my eye's okay. Manfred, my eye's gonna be fine. And the pain totally went away. It was totally fine. I found out eventually through continuing to question him that the lens they put in has a numbing agent that wears off a little bit. So it's actually, my eye was numb and then it wore off and then it hurt and now it's healing, so it feels fine. And now it's great. I strongly recommend it if you want to do it, but scared me to death. What if when my friend bumped what if I have a supraorbital contusion on my eye and I'm gonna be blinded? I'm gonna be like the casting pirate and yar, the Zerg player, early expanding mateys, yar. Let's do some StarCraft. Here's the final game.